What it do? How you doing, peeps? It's your boy Sheltered Hell, live and in color. We just beat Miami, so honestly, what can you say, man? I'm just gonna say this, you can love us, you can hate us, which majority, in fact, not a majority, everybody, unless you're a Florida State fan, does hate us. But one thing you got to give us, man, we know how to win. We know how to pull it out. We know how to come through. We know how to win football games, and that's what we've been doing all season. Now, some recent news just came out of Swampville. I'm sorry, Gainesville, with the home of the Swamp Rats, or better known as the Florida Gators, or FSU's little stepbrother. Uh, they've recently fired. Well, he decided to step down, which I'm pretty sure was just a move of like Jeremy Foley saying, "Listen, you got to step down, otherwise we're gonna fire you." So, but Muschamp will be stepping down at the end of the year, and the Gators are gonna finish out their season. Now they got 2 games left on their schedule. They're 5-5. Next week they play Eastern Carolina or some bullshit ass school, which they should beat. But we remember what happened with this program last year when they faced off against, Georgia Southern, and they couldn't even beat Georgia Southern. And then everybody was like, well, we had injuries and everything like that. Bullshit. I don't care who you got injured. Florida, the mighty Florida, should never, ever, ever, ever lose to damn Georgia Southern. Get out of here. Now, Jerick McKinnon was on that team then, so everybody's going to be like, well, they had Jerick McKinnon. Yeah, they didn't complete a pass. Kick rocks. Florida's ass. And they're still ass. And see, a lot of the video makers on here, like, well, namely one in particular. The other ones I haven't really spoken to yet, but namely Gator Boo will get up here and say, that despite how bad Florida's looked, they're still going to kick FSU's ass, and that it's going to not even be a close contest or whatever, and that they're going to run all over us because our defense is suspect. Yeah, because Florida's got a world beater offense. That world beater offense that Florida's got, that's ranked like 110th in the country, is the greatest offense that FSU will ever face. Come on, kick rocks. Florida is. I remember when I was in college, this used to be a team, and I still hate them, and I will always hate Florida. Never going to be a doubt in my mind. Growing up in Orlando, Florida, um, you're either a Seminole or you're a Gator. And a lot of my friends ended up going to the University of Florida. And like when my freshman year, when I was in Tallahassee, when I was at FSU, the freaking Swamp Rats won the national championship with Chris Leak, and they beat Ohio State. And then that same freaking calendar year, they went and turned around and won back to back in basketball or whatever. So my freshman year was just awful. And I had to hear it from all those Gator fans and everything like that. I was still repping the garnet and gold and everything like that. And then 2 years later, I got to see them win in freaking against Oklahoma or whatever. So they got 2 championships in 3 years, and then they had that freaking Tim Tebow bastard or whatever, doing his thing and everything like that. And then Urban Meyer said he was going to step down. So after the 2009 season, which was their last season, which was the last time that Florida was actually relevant or actually good or did anything that was meaningful on a national scale, they they beat us pretty bad, on Tim Tebow's senior night. And I went down there. That was my senior year. I went down there and I watched the game, and I got heckled and booed by a lot of Gator fans, which is just fine because we'll do the same thing to them. Man, this is college football, man. Ain't no, there's no, anything personal here. I mean, hate each other's teams or whatever. In Florida State, Florida, that's how we're always going to be. Always going to be. We're always going to hate each other. I don't care. Take the names off the jerseys, do anything. We're always going to hate each other. Now, the biggest challenge that Florida presents is that they've got a really good defense. No one will ever deny Florida's got a really good defense. But trust me, I am not trusting that Florida offense to do a damn thing versus us. We've gotten better at the run. Now, has our defense been as good as what I thought we've gonna been? No. But trust me, Florida ain't gonna do anything because they're one dimensional. Their quarterback, Treon Harris, sucks. Florida State scraps. You know why he's Florida State scraps? Because Treon Harris didn't want to sit here and wait in line to be a quarterback at FSU. So that's why he decommitted from us and he decided to go to the Gators because he knew that they were so trash that he'd be able to play immediately. Bye-bye, Treon. Have fun there. We're going to bust your ass and show you why you should have picked the real school. Why you should have picked the greatest school in the state of Florida, which is those Florida State Seminoles. That entire program, their whole fan base, everything about the Gators is whack. We've taken over the state. Since 2010, since Jimbo Fisher arrived in town, we've locked down the state. We've locked down the state in wins. We've locked down the state in recruiting. We've locked down the state as far as championships because we're the only one of the three schools that are winning championships. We've locked down everything in the state of Florida. So let's go through it. In the Jimbo Fisher era, he has 8 wins. 8 wins, 1 loss versus Florida and Miami. We own this friggin' state. Y'all are renting it right now. You know, you guys are renting Sun Life Stadium and renting Ben Hill Griffith Stadium. But remember, we own this friggin' state. We own it. And that's how it should be. The Knowles are back on top. And, you know, bravo to you guys, firing Muschamp. He needed to go. But guess what? Will Muschamp will probably end up in Tallahassee next year. You know why? Because he's good friends with Jimbo Fisher. And Jimbo Fisher likes excellence. We love excellence. That's why our standard is where it is. 26 straight wins. 26 came, 26 tried, 26 failed. This week we're going to get in Boston College's ass, and then we'll get into Florida Hate Week. But I just wanted to kind of address this with you guys. The University of Florida is ass. And we're going to whoop that ass when they decide that they're going to come up in the doke. Just like Miami thought that they were going to beat us, we went down to their place. And that's why Jameis Winston put up the finger and said, shh, be silent. And realize that you're in the presence of greatness. In Spanish, they say, nosotros estamos en la presencia de grandeza. That means we're in the presence of greatness. Be silent and understand. You're going to fear the spirit because that Knoll swag is taking over the country, baby. FSU, we are the greatest. And Gator Boo, I got my little bet proposal for you, but I won't reveal it this week. After we beat Boston College's ass, we'll get at you. But I just wanted to kind of, bring that out there. Just remember who owns this state. Florida State University. The Garnet and Gold. Go Noles, baby.